All right. Um, Once again, I really don't have a. Not good with the focals in this stuff. Because right now I'm just showing off my purdy. Uh, I have revamped my system. Um, was gonna do shapes and stuff, and ended up getting into ridiculous amount of freaking just redundant code. Just to, all right, which way is this block facing? If I'm pointed to the X, Y, or Z, am I attached to another block? And if I am, what face of that block do I need to look for? It ended up getting ridiculous. Um, my part, my fault, because and it's one of those things where it's easier on the mind to just if it's touching this face then this, if it's touching that face then that, and write out each individual thing instead of doing something that's proper, I guess, such as just this, add my vertices to an array and then go through the array and check everything out. Anyway, back to what I'm doing here. Hopefully I can keep this from being too long. Oh yeah, that's right, gotta click on play. Where are you? There you are. I'm getting rid of you. Just gonna show you a couple things that I got going on here. We'll make this 4 blocks, and one, my triangle direction is I got a little issue with it on the top and the bottom, I believe. As you can see, the normals are pointing in the wrong direction on this side here, so that means that my winding is incorrect. I need to flip my winding, which is weird. But that being said, what I'm about to show you is now way I've got this so far is I've got a limit on it, which isn't perfect, as it does allow you to do stuff I don't want you to do, but that's okay for the moment. You can make any shape just about that you want to, and right now in between these 2 blocks and these 2 blocks it's not creating a face, but because you can see that one, that face is whole, because I don't have any magic the triangulation is manual, so I don't have anything that goes in there and updates the triangulation depending on the shape of the object. For the moment, that's okay. I'm not seeing any impact on the performance. I'm actually spending much time playing with this. Here's the this is just, it's quite beautiful. It really is. I've got to make the vertex selection with the paint a little more forgiving, because at certain angles it gets funky. But like I said, for the moment it's okay. The painting, I'm freaking in love with this painting. You can paint each vertex a different color if you want. The thing of it is, though, is that the blending is just beautiful, just absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait until I've got real functionality in this, because in other paint, when you have the ability to paint, sometimes you only get to paint the whole block. It's just each face is its own color, but using the vertex colors in the material makes it so much easier to come up with something that's just awesome. As going from one color to another, I mean, it's being able to paint in and of itself is pretty awesome, but sometimes you just want to be able to yeah, I've got to my look at that. Look at how pretty that is. That's the way painting should be. I mean, of course, you can just do awesome things, you know, just being able to paint it in and of itself is pretty awesome. Because, I mean, solid to solid, that looks good, but when you put the two together, it's just nice to be able to let me scoot my little booty over here. It's nice to be able to blend it in like that between the blocks if you want to. Oh yeah, I don't know if you noticed or not, but yes, we can make our shapes the way we want them, which in itself is just absolutely beautiful. I'll just get rid of you. I am, of course, I've got to work a few things out, you know, but you can just make a ton of shapes. I mean, it's really rather quite beautiful. And with the paint, I mean, it makes it possible to just do a ton of things. Yeah, I got to be careful, because if I'm not, I'm going to end up spending most of my time playing with this stuff instead of actually working on it. Anyway, the goal isn't to rush and make it to where you can play in a level as of yet. The goal is to make sure that everything is working properly in this portion of what I'm doing. I want you to be able to, I don't want there to be any frustration with the build. Because the build, you're going to spend a lot of your time here, especially seeing as how you're going to be the one making your shapes. So it's got to work right. And after I get the shape creation, the block, and the painting, and all the rest of that to where it's a little more forgiving, and yet doesn't allow you to do dum-dums. And by dum-dums, for example, whoops. Right now, at the moment, you can do silly things like that, which is not cool. So I've got to put some checks in there for that. But anyway, here, let's see what that looks like with green. Because yeah, oh, that blend is awesome. Look at that. Just imagine. And how about blue? Come over here to a richer blue. Yeah, there we go. That is a deep blue. Let's see here. Let's see about making that a little. Still want blue. We gotta come out here and make it a little lighter. This thing loves its darkness. well, like I said, there's things to be worked on, and I'm going to make sure that everything works fine first. Another thing, I don't know if you notice it here or not, but the UVs for the texture, I mean, I could do away with the texture and just go with a matte or a glossy material. But I do want to be able to have materials that have textures on there, so I've got to make the UVs match the way you're moving your vertices around. But other than that, this is what I got so far. It's pretty awesome. After I've got a few things to take care of with what I have. Symmetry and fixing my triangles here is next in order, and I guess I've got to make my limits a little more forgiving, but I don't want it to be annoying. So anyway, that's it so far. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.